Hey, what's up and how's it going all MRBers? I am Mike McRock from the Make Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show, and I'm so glad that you have took your time to watch this video right here today, because right now I'm about to give you a DVD review that's pretty much long overdue. It's a DVD that came out back in October of 2012. And the review is finally here, and with that being said, the DVD I'm about to review is The Top 100 Moments in Raw History. So before I get into the actual content on this DVD, I will point out the cover itself. Check that out. It does look generic, but also in the same time, it kind of does stand out as well. The cover is... Oh, I'm going the other way. The cover is actually pretty cool. I like how it pops out right in front of you, so you know when you see it. And you have the back, and you have, all the written stuff, the pictures, and stuff like that, etc., etc. And that's just the cover. And you open it up, and it has all the moments on the back on this DVD. And there is the glimpse of it. Yeah, here we go. Just to get all the pictures, just to, let you know what's on here. And you count all the pictures on here, and there's actually 100 moments on the back. So, you get the idea of what the content that's on here. So, with that being said, overall, I thought this DVD set is an enjoyable watch. It is a pretty fast-paced DVD. The total countdown in and itself is over 3 hours long, and it really don't feel like 3 hours long. On the first disc, you have numbers 100 to 51, and that's roughly about an hour and 45 minutes, as well as the second half, 50 to number 1. And to me, I like the second half a little better than the first half, because there's content on the second disc where you see there's interviews that you never really seen before. Interviews from Vince Russo, Triple H, even Chris Jericho and X-Pac and Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. So I like that they put new stuff on the DVD. And with that said, there's also a lot of stuff that they used from other DVDs, like The Rock's biography, Stone Cold's biography, Brock Lesnar's, even little snippets from the 100th episode where someone talks about their moment. They put that footage on here, and it's only like around 30 seconds long on the first disc, and they go a little bit more in depth. It's more like at least a minute or two with the people talking about the moments. Now, there are moments where you feel like that they're questionable, the moments, that are on this list, and you question how they got on this list. But there's also moments as well where, you step back and think, these belong there. Even though they seem a lot lower, they definitely should be on the list. And I'll get to that more in detail later on this review. What I do like about this DVD is that it's very enjoyable. The WWE somehow always manages to make me watch a list, even though it's very debatable, and somehow pulls off an enjoyable DVD. It's a really good show, I think, in my opinion. And with that being said, I would definitely recommend this to watch. Even though the list has its questionable moments, this is an enjoyable show. I think, in my opinion. The one thing I will point out is that there are moments on the list, and then you get random people talking about it, and it just feels really awkward in that sense that certain people like Kofi Kingston, Matt Striker, even Santino or David Otunga are talking about these when other people should be doing it, the people that were actually a part of that Raw moment. So, I would rather see that instead. And also to add to that, I would like to see more intake from those certain superstars about that moment. So that's what I would love to see more of on this DVD, is to go a lot more in depth into pretty much every single moment that's on here. Now, I like how on this DVD you have your serious moments, your comic relief moments, and you have memorable moments as well. So there's a lot of variety on this show, and I think that's the way they worked that out was actually planned pretty well. Going into those memorable moments, you have those moments where you had Ric Flair's retirement. You also had the live sex celebration. That's a memorable moment, as well as Shawn Michaels kicking Hulk Hogan. Even the stare down between Triple H and The Undertaker going into the match at WrestleMania 27. To me, those moments like that, I think, should have been a lot higher. Even the moment where The Rock and the Hulk Hogan had their stare down, and where the fans just blew up. They were excited about that. And I think moments like that, to me, stand out the most and should have been a lot higher than they should have been. Now, there were also moments as well that I think could have been maybe, a little bit lower. There were some moments in the top 10 where I'm going, how did this make the top 10? It's questionable. But what I do like is that how they made the top 5. I think that the top 5, to me, is very understandable. You had number 5, the CM Punk pipe bomb, and I was actually surprised that they put the pipe bomb very, very high on the top 100, because it was one of those moments that happened the year before this DVD was made. So, like I said, I was actually surprised that they put it a lot higher on the list, and it's understandable as well. It was one of those captivating moments that really made you talk about after watching it. And so for that reason, I can understand why that moment was at number 5. At number 4, you had the Mike Tyson and Stone Cold Steve Austin moment, where you had everyone in the ring and there was money flying everywhere and someone had to pick it up. I don't know if anyone caught that, but if you do, hats off to you. And I think, to me, that was one of those great moments as well. And on a personal standpoint, it was actually the first glimpse of the Attitude Era that I saw. And I was watching, WWE part-time, only for a little bit when the Attitude Era was going on. But as time went on, I started to go more into watching Raw. Number 3, you had the debut of Chris Jericho, arguably the best debut out of anyone in the WWE. How he started off at the very top when he interrupted The Rock. To me, very understandable how that made number 3. No question about it. I can't argue with it. Number 2, This Is Your Life. Now, I do understand how the WWE tries. They try to recycle things. To me, it didn't work the second time as it did the first time. The first time, you had The Rock and Mankind doing what they were doing in the ring with that segment. It was one of the most successful segments in Raw history. And that's why I can't argue that it was one of the best moments in Raw history. At number 2, no question about it. And number 1, with the beer bath. Absolutely. This moment, out of any show you put on, if it's a Raw countdown or a WWE countdown, automatically it has to be number one, because it was just one of those moments where you go, that was something special. And nothing really tops that when it comes to shenanigans. It was one of those moments I like to call the best shenanigan moment in history. You know, you could talk about the best wrestling match moment in Raw history. You could talk about the best comic relief moment in Raw history. And there's also, with that, shenanigans and how they present their shenanigans on Raw. The beer bath is definitely the top segment out of any Raw segments in Raw history, and that's why it's number one. And like I said, overall, this is really an enjoyable watch. It's a well-paced DVD, and like I said, it doesn't feel like 3 hours long. The first two discs are the countdown, and on the third disc is the Raw 1000th episode. To me, what I would have done is that I would have put the 1000th episode of Raw on its own DVD. And on this, I would actually divide the discs into 4. You have numbers 100 to 51 on the first disc, 50 to 26 on the second, 100 to 76 on the first disc, 75 to 51 on the second, and so on and so on, 50 to 26 on the third, and 25 to 1 on the fourth, and go a lot more in depth and get a lot more intake on the people involved and other superstars to be interviewed on the DVD. That's what I would have done personally, how I would present this DVD, but overall, it's still an enjoyable watch, and out of 10, I will give this a 7.5. And that was my review of the top 100 moments in WWE history. And if you saw the DVD, what did you think about it? Comment below and let me know. And also, you can also follow MRB Wrestling Reviews on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest, and always do your best.